Just one day away from Notre Dame's road matchup against NC State in Raleigh, North Carolina. 12 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. The game is on NBC. And if I think it's a Spectrum customer, Spectrum and ESPN are having a dispute, at least as we record this. So just before the game, make sure that you know how to watch it if you're not going to be in North Carolina to watch that game. If you have YouTube TV or Fubo or whatever, you're good. But Spectrum, make sure you check on that. So that's just a side note. We're going to get to Tyler Horka's 3 keys to the game and his score prediction in just a few moments. But folks, please do hit the thumbs up on this video. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel and join the other 22 or 23,000 Notre Dame fans who have already done so. Tyler, in your articles at Blue and Gold, I feel like you've done such a phenomenal job covering Sam Hartman from the day he committed to Notre Dame to today. And a part of your reporting has been on, listen, Sam Hartman struggled with some of these ACC teams, especially NC State. So your key number 1 to this game is Sam Hartman not seeing any ghosts. Can you explain that one?
Yeah, and that's in quotes there on the screen because that was a quote from Jared Parker. I asked him on Tuesday night, like, how do you approach this with Sam Hartman? Do you ask him about, hey, why did you struggle a little bit? Or this is what we can do to not struggle this time around. And obviously, let me preface this with Wake Forest is Wake Forest and Notre Dame is Notre Dame. Sam Hartman has a tremendously better cast of players around him. That goes from the offensive line to the running backs and even some of the wide receivers, I would say. So that sets up Sam Hartman for success right there. But then there is just like that mental stigma maybe that Sam Hartman has with being 1-2 against these guys in his career. He has as many touchdowns as he does interceptions, 6 and 6. That's not the ratio that you're looking for if you're playing anybody. And over a course of 3 games, I mean, that's a large sample size. So the 1-2 record, the 6 touchdowns, the 6 interceptions, it's barely 54% completion against them as well. So they kind of got his number. And Tony Gibson's a good defensive coordinator. And Dave Doran is a good head coach. He's been there for a while. I think he's going on a decade, maybe a dozen years at NC State. So they know what they're doing. They know who Sam Hartman is. They know how to game plan against them. But interesting thing that Dave Doran said in his press conference this week was you kind of got to throw the game plan against Sam Hartman out the window because they had one specifically for the Wake Forest offense. So they can use that when they play Wake Forest in November. But against Notre Dame, you've got to account for maybe some RPO stuff, the play action, the running game stuff. So for Sam Hartman, it's as simple as stay in the offense, let the guys around you do what you do, and not see ghosts like Sam Darnold was against the Patriots on Monday Night Football a couple of years back.
Sam Hartman didn't have Blake Fisher, Joe Wall, Audric Estime at Wake Forest. So yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, look, game plans against Wake Forest, not necessarily just Sam Hartman. I thought it was interesting during Marcus Freeman's press conference. I can't remember who asked him. It might have been, I think it was actually you, Tyler, where you asked, how much do you look at Sam Hartman's past struggles against NC State? And Freeman was like, I don't really think we look much at all. We're more focusing on NC State and their defense more than, or what NC State did against UConn than what Sam Hartman's previously done when playing against NC State. So I thought that was interesting. Brennan Armstrong is NC State's quarterback, former Virginia signal caller. So your key number 2 to this game is stopping Brennan Armstrong as a runner, Tyler.
Yeah, and obviously he's a good quarterback. He can throw the football, put up crazy numbers at Virginia in 2021. Notre Dame was actually a little lucky that they didn't have to play him in November of that year. Kind of got an easy win late in the year. It felt like one of those like bye game like victories where you just show up, you win, you get out of there, you go home. If Brennan Armstrong was playing, that would probably be a little different. And that's going to be the case this week because he is elusive. And I don't think he has a very strong wide receiver core. The starting running back, Jordan Houston, is a guy who on 156 carries last year or somewhere around there didn't score a touchdown. I mean, this is their lead back. He didn't have a touchdown on the ground. So kind of telling about their running game or lack thereof. And then again, I said the wide receivers don't really scare me. So this is a type of game where I think Brennan Armstrong's going to take it upon himself to keep NC State in this thing. And if he makes, Like if he turns 3rd and 12 into a first down, and then all of a sudden NC State's in the end zone a few plays later, that's a turning point. If he's able to get into the end zone in red zone situations, which Notre Dame's red zone defense has been good, but if Brennan Armstrong flips that on its head and is going into the end zone, like he did against UConn in that first week, I think he scored a couple of rushing touchdowns. That's kind of NC State's bread and butter offensively in this game.
All right, key number 3, Notre Dame's offensive line and both pass pro and run blocking.
Yeah, I think this game falls on the Notre Dame offensive line, and the defense might do enough to where it doesn't matter. I honestly think that we'll get to my score prediction in a little bit, but I think that the Notre Dame defense, like the more and more I think about this game, what Notre Dame has defensively and what NC State might not have offensively, the edges with the Notre Dame defense. But from an offensive standpoint, if you're Notre Dame, you win this game by protecting Sam Hartman. And it's something as simple as not false starting. If you go back to last year, Wake Forest versus NC State, I think Wake Forest had 5 or 6 false starts. Like that's putting your quarterback behind the sticks. It's making him do things that Sam Hartman can do in a perfect world. But like when you're in a rowdy atmosphere, I think that game was at NC State last year. And all of a sudden, 3rd and 8 turns into 3rd and 13, and you don't pick that up because you got to go down the field. That's not good. So play soundly if you're the offensive line. And then the second part of that with the run blocking is like if Audric Estime has 150 yards in this game, which hasn't really been the MO this year because he's only had 16 carries, I think, in both games. But if this is a game where Notre Dame says, okay, now we're playing a tougher opponent, let's lean on the offensive line. Let's give Audric Estime 20 to 25 carries and see what he can do. That helps Sam Hartman tremendously as well. So if the offensive line plays well for Notre Dame, I think they get out of there with a victory.
All right, let's look at the score prediction time. And this is always where we go to Odd Shark and kind of look at some of the numbers. Notre Dame opened as a 6.5 point dog. Excuse me. Notre Dame opened as a 6.5 point favorite. The line has moved up to 7.5. The over-under, interesting, opened at 48.5 and moved up to 51 points. The Odd Shark, their algorithm, predicted score Notre Dame 34. NC State 22. I think Irish fans would take that to the bank. Go out and have that result on the road. So yeah, they think that Notre Dame is going to win, cover the spread, and the total will go over. Tyler, what say you?
I'm going to tell everybody that this is the first time I'm looking at this Odds Shark, and I guess maybe they should employ me or maybe think about some side hustle because when we do our magazine predictions for these games, which is like a week in advance or a week and a half in advance, because we have to get that in there for print purposes, I picked Notre Dame 35, NC State 24, and I'm going to stick with that. I think OddsShark thinks that's a good score. I think that is a good score for Notre Dame. If I had to like adjust that, what I was saying earlier, I think Notre Dame may keep NC State like in the teens or to 3 touchdowns, but I'm going to stick with 35 to 24. I think the offense does more than enough to win, more than enough to cover. And because of that, if you are a betting man or gal, pick the over. I think this game's going to be played into the 50s. What did we just have on there, Michael? It was 48.5?
51. 51's the current.
51.
As we record this.
I'm still taking the over in that, obviously, but that'll be close. But pretty solid on a Notre Dame cover. I think they win this game between 10 to 15 points, somewhere in there.
Okay. Sometimes I will pass on giving mine, and people are like, why not, Mike? Give your prediction. I'm going 28-17 Notre Dame.
Okay.
So I'm a little on the under, but give me Notre Dame to have it'll be a ball game, but Irish win by 11. So that's my prediction there. So again, folks,
we both got the Irish by 11.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, folks, please do hit that thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to our channel for more content. Give us a follow. I'm at Mike T. Singer. That's Tyler Horka at TB Horka. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more content, of course. Head to blueandgold.com for all the score predictions from the rest of our staff at Blue and Gold and so much more content leading up to Notre Dame at NC State. Appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you next time.